like so after watching this movie I know I mean it's ironic that because like the Western countries or like like the Europe and so on like in the movies and those countries always blame it on countries for example like Serbia or other maybe the global South countries like they have the repression or like the governments or like those countries that have exploitations in their own countries or something, like just blame the exploitations or like the repressions like on those countries themselves. But actually the Western countries themselves are actually doing this. So I think that this kind of it's ironic, yeah. And also I think just like you said, I think actually so it's kind of this kind of thing is institutionally ideological. Like we do the sustainable development studies or like resistance studies or like sociology or other social sciences aspects. It's actually institutionally ideological. Yeah, like this. Yeah, indeed. Because many professors here, indeed, just like the professor you listed, and also the professors in my department, in my program, in my faculty, they are
that receive threats.
Yeah, and my question is, have you ever tried to reach out to him and to maybe have a debate or to talk with him? Is it possible?
We were forbidden to enter. We were not accepted. So sometimes he wants to invite NGOs to give that debate legitimacy. Because if you can implicate them, it means that okay, they might be okay with it. So, but so we couldn't get in as civil society, and we had to stand outside. We were with 11 people on a Monday morning in the rain, and Tuesday morning with 17 people. But it had impact because the people from the mining companies, they saw us in front of the building with our banners and with the crosses on our mount being silenced. So instead of social license for operate, we had a banner with silencing local opposition. So, and we handed out pamphlets, and also at the Critical Raw Materials Week, we handed out pamphlets. We handed out 400 pamphlets at the entrance of the Plaza Hotel. So every IEU person that was present got the pamphlet, and also the people from the mining companies, and they were a bit aroused, like what is this? So it was a peaceful protest, and it had an impact, but we need more than that.
Yeah, because I'm asking because we are all part of, like, some of us are part of the same master program, and we have a project going on. And my topic is mining in Europe, yes or no, listening to the local voices. And I wanted to find a way somehow to have a debate with like him, but I never tried to reach out to him yet. So I wanted to ask you, and maybe if it's feasible eventually. I mean, I could reach out to him as well.
Yeah.
If you would
I
eventually.
it will be really interesting. But there was, for example, last year, as you remember, after the movie in Dockville, his movie, there was a debate, and there was also with Nick Minen. Nick Minen is, you know him?
No.
He was formerly.
Well, I'm from Chile. I'm from South America, and I didn't know about anything of these different cases. Maybe in the most of the people here, of course, it can be like maybe so far away. Like South America, it's a different culture, but within, like, of course, I'm not from Peru, Brazil, or Honduras. I didn't know about anything of this. Of course, like with this documentary, a great work of journalism, and maybe it was on the papers, but nobody talked about it. In case of Chile, there has been mobilizations about some mining projects. One of the most famous ones, it's called Dominga, and a lot of Chilean people are against that. But in those other countries, I didn't know, and I felt.
Yeah, I would like to add. I'm from Bolivia as well, so I think that I found a lot of things in common. For example, the government is in favor of mining activities in my country. I don't know what happened to the mining activities, but they pay lower taxes. So it's around 3 to 5%, while the rest of people pay up to 30% of the profit. So I don't know which benefits do they have. Also, I found in common that the Chinese enterprises, for example, Sinohydro, they work all around South America. I don't know why. So Sinohydro, that enterprise, has a lot of projects in Bolivia. So maybe it's because of some relationship that has Bolivia with China. I don't know why. It's not always Europe, but it's also China, which is interested in the resources as well. And an interesting case in the north of La Paz, where they explode gold, they found mercury tracers in people. So even in the hair or in the skin, they have found around 10 parts per million of mercury, which the allowed concentration is 0.1, I guess. So what are we doing with mining? I don't know. So I think it's a political problem as well. And I think that's in common from all South America and Latin America maybe.
Establishment.
Yeah.
Also in Peru, because I remember when this Maxima case was happening, of course this was not covered by the mainstream media, because, and also like they come up with another discourse like, oh yeah, but you know what, she had land, or she's not telling the whole truth. So it's also like that when with these environmental defenders, how like also like the establishment also goes against them, because I mean now I used to work a bit on the Amazon, and there's like a lot of like this how the also like the authorities, as you can see here, the police is protecting the mining instead of the police protecting the people. So it's like the whole system that goes against the people that should be protected from this thing. I mean, as I don't know, they were saying like, okay, mining could happen, but why don't we have like standards that are respectful? That's the thing, that no, mining prefer to invest in like lobbies with authorities or like police reinforcement to go against people. And I think like that's the moment where the state start failing to the people.
I think that makes it so hard to battle against, and especially it is a question about the consumers, because really we don't wonder like where does like 4G come from, or how does our phone get to access like 5G or these like nice apps and everything and the retina displays, and it's all because of the gold that's inside of it, right? So I think we also need to take a hard look at ourselves and exactly what are we buying. And sometimes we think like, oh, it's only the clothes, and that we buy second hand, when it's actually just scrolling through Instagram is already like using, I don't know, like that resource that was taken out of the ground. So I think just having as well that in mind.
Yeah, then to switch the focus on the driving forces and like to try to give a partial reply to your question. I think that of course we don't want to, like you're saying, like what is the solution then? Keeping exploiting the South? Of course not. And I think maybe one of the solution could be that of circular economy, for example. Like the moment you already have the material in your land, so also for geopolitical reasons, because we are seeing the political world like alliances changing. Okay, so once you have this material in your land, once you have already extracted it, it's super important that you keep them there, that you don't sell or send them to Africa, where also this waste is not well managed, but you reuse them, no? And diminish your use, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
So there are ways in which we personally can do something to change this, and that's why important having these discussions. No, because yes, it is the discussion with this professor will of course need a lot of preparation, because you need to reply. But then at the end of the day, it's really not so hard to, I think, to connect the dots. Like we did it now, we saw all the different perspectives, and I think we already understand a bit more than when we arrived what's behind these
Say
tragedies.
something, if I may?
Of course.
Just wanted to say that also it's like important like to push our governments like to do something because they have also like the responsibility to protect the citizens, and I'm saying like to my government like in Peru, but also like here in Europe, like to be responsible about that.
Yes.
As they were saying in the documentary, like all this global value change, also like the responsibilities of who is buying like these raw materials, who is buying like these resources. I think like, I mean, yeah, because okay, I believe like we have like of course some individual
but
responsibility, but there's also
personal
like
responsibility. But when I say, for example, circular economy. I'm not speaking just about ourselves, but also about the policies that needs to be implemented. Like to implement a circular economy, we need also new laws that allows us to use waste as a primary material, a raw material.